Namaste. We are thankful to NCRT for providing us with this opportunity to participate in the international conference to present our research paper on resilient and coherent technology solutions in a pandemic situation. Ever since humans started to live in groups forming communities, the world has seen numerous diseases spread, like COVID 19 this time. In the process of finding ways to provide education on a virtual platform during the pandemic, the resilience and coherence aspect of education was usually compromised. This paper focuses on using a noise analysis, which is an acronym for needs, opportunities, improvements, strengths, and exceptions, to build a resilient and coherent model that can effectively be used in future pandemics, crises, and in hybrid learning. The primary source of data collection was the noise questionnaire filled by educators of different schools. The number of respondents was 61 and sample design was convenient sampling. Secondary sources included research articles and papers. Based on the responses collected, the data was sorted and analyzed for government school educators and private and semi-government school educators as their needs of learning environment were different. The questions formulated for each component of noise model responses are as follows. Needs. The need for technology in teaching learning during the pandemic this year. Opportunities. The opportunities needed to make a shift from physical classroom to virtual classroom at such a short notice and preparations. Improvements. The area of improvements that can be looked into to make education during the pandemic and post-pandemic an effective blended hybrid learning model. Strengths. The strengths of educational technology teaching during COVID, which address the learning and other social emotional needs of the students and can be adopted for a blended hybrid learning model in education for future. Exceptions. The list of exceptions of E of noise is the areas of noise that are already happening even just a little. Moving on now to government schools survey data analysis. Survey conducted reflects that government school students either had shared or personal Android devices or TV or radio as a platform for virtual learning, and the teaching learning model here was primarily asynchronous. As per the pie chart, the need analysis of government schools and NGO educators, 24% of educators voted for the need to shift and engage students from physical to safe learning virtual spaces. 17 to 18% educators voted for changing role of educators as language and technology facilitators. Opportunity analysis stated that 38% educators voted for necessity of Android phones, 28% for improved online conference platforms and cheaper internet facility, and 14% for national TV and radio as an alternative medium. For improvement component, 20 to 26% voted for improvement in the delivery of lessons in virtual classrooms and accessibility of tech tools to access education. 18% voted for improvements in teacher training, fair online assessments, and addressing social emotional learning in virtual setup. Strengths that came out were 20% voted for availability of government digital e-content like Diksha, 11 to 14% voted for easier teacher training options on online school platforms, educators and students becoming cyber smart, 7 to 9% voted for maximized global interactions and easier assignment check. Based on the noise model obtained for government schools and NGO, suggested beneficial practices are designing a need-based model depending upon the needs and availability of resources for the schools and students, making internet and devices available at affordable prices by adding the same in the education budget, which can help to establish online learning platform. Moving on now to private and semi-government school survey data analysis.
According to the survey conducted, school students had either their own laptops, desktops, Android phones or had it on sharing basis. The teaching learning here was primarily synchronous. As per the pie chart shown, 21 to 23% voted for the need of adoption of a safe and secure virtual learning environment and urgent need to shift from physical to virtual platform. 18 to 19% opted for need to reach and engage every learner in an online setup and changing role of educators. The opportunities analysis showed that 39% educators voted for online conference platform turning into the opportunity to learn, 32% to Android phones being basic necessity nowadays, 26% to cheaper internet availability as a great opportunity, whereas 9% voted for national TV radio as a medium accessible to majority of the population. The areas of improvement chosen were 20% responded to improvements in accessibility of tech tools for equitable classrooms, followed by improvement in teacher training for effective teaching learning. 14 to 15% emphasized on the need to improve the delivery of the lessons, social emotional learning domain, and fair online assessments in a virtual classroom. Strengths that came out were 15% of educators voted for contribution of online platform and government e-content platforms like Diksha as key tools. 14% voted for building a safe and secure virtual learning environment, and 10 to 11% voted for opportunities for companies to evolve their product, easy to keep a tab on assignments, and access to education from comfort of home. Based on the noise model obtained, suggested beneficial practices are keeping online teaching learning as an integral part of creating equitable classroom even after pandemic, using online platform to stay in touch with students to understand their social emotional learning needs and maximize global interactions. Concepts of PTM can be addressed using online platforms to save on commuting time and combating climate changes effectively. Moving on to results and discussions now. Education model based on noise can be used as a framework to further develop resilient and coherent technology solutions in a pandemic and post-pandemic situations. Some of the suggestions derived from noise for hybrid or blended learning are as follows. Strengths and opportunities of noise can be integrated into the post-pandemic hybrid model to benefit from the practices which are already working very well in the present system and have shown better results than a physical learning environment. Formulating a plan to address needs and improvements can help develop a more evolved hybrid learning model for institutions. Classroom learning accessed from homes via live transmissions can benefit students who miss classes on account of being unwell or other such reasons. These models will not only take teaching learning to another level but will surely contribute towards environmental well being. Thank you.